Look, this is made or this is like
As I sip my
broken
tea.
relationships. This question.
Well,
Look, okay, so
you
I
only
will
live
tell you my
once.
theory about is a hot dog a sandwich?
Okay.
I'm just going to say yes. And I can't see
Hmm.
why a hot dog can't be a hot dog and a sandwich. Because like the world of binaries, I think like just is like it's either or. And it's like, you know what? I believe in the both and. I am a Lutheran pastor. I am simultaneously saint and sinner. And I believe very strongly in the both and. So a hot dog, I believe, and this just sounds like a such an answer of like, you're just giving up. A hot dog can be its own hot dog thing and live in its own hot dog fullness. And if it wants to be, it can be a sandwich because it is two pieces of bread with the center and there's fixins in it.
I'm about to look up the definition of a hot dog.
Okay.
Just because I I'm not liking any of these definitions. Um,
What does the
I
great
don't.
internet say about the definition of a hot dog?
So let's see. Merriam-Webster. What does Merriam say? It's not giving me anything that I appreciate. It is saying, okay, as a noun, it's giving me. Mm-mm, this isn't working. As a verb, it's giving me verb and noun. Right. So I'm like, I don't like this. Verb to perform in a conspicuous or often ostentatious manner. That says a lot, though. That says an awful lot. That says an awful, awful lot
Okay, well, now
because
I'm
it.
intrigued because now that you have actually had the benefit of looking at this on the internet, is a hot dog a sandwich?
Here's the thing that if I look at what I understand as a sandwich, for all intents and purposes, just at the basic level, a piece of meat between two pieces of bread. For all intents and purposes, that is a sandwich. I mean, we can debate a lot of things,
Hmm.
but that's what sandwich means to me. So if we're looking at it from that perspective, then sure, a hot dog can be a sandwich because it is a piece of meat in between a bread slit or in between one piece of folded bread, depending upon how you grew up and the convenience of it all. So it can be non-binary. A hot dog can be
Hmm.
non-binary. I love that we're having this conversation. Oh my gosh, this is so good. Um, so yes, a hot dog can be non-binary. It can be a non-binary.
Yeah.
With that said, I can see the ways in which there are a lot of people who will be like, no, because a hot dog is a hot dog. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And they understand it as it's almost like God. It just is. It
Mhm.
isn't this or that, but it also has its own identifier, its own category, its own place of existence. Um, so it's a
But then I
I,
wonder about things like bratwurst. Like we don't call bratwurst hot dogs.
we don't because it has its own category. It's
Mhm.
its
But oh,
own
the
designation.
categorization. Ah, it's like
I
everything
know. I'm just
needs a
saying.
label and
I
everything needs a little like you
I'm
need
just
it here,
saying.
so I understand you more.
I'm just saying. Like this is what people know it and see it as, and it can be nothing else.
Hmm.
And we see that, as you said, in just our reality of the world. Like you don't mess with this that I understand. It's how people see about God and Jesus.
Hmm.
Don't mess with my Jesus. this is Jesus. And it's like, but could it be something else? And so that's part of the reason why I appreciate the question. And we got really deep off of this, but I appreciate the question because it does shatter norms.
Yeah.
It does shatter our binary norms and
It
understandings
it
and comforts.
also it encourages us to engage with our imagination.
For those who are brave enough to engage their imagination. Yeah, I agree with you. But I wonder, there are some people who aren't thinking about engaging their imagination and aren't interested in engaging their imagination.
I think because engaging the imagination is terraciding. And I think it might be for some folks more terrifying
Mhm.
than exciting.
When you change my definition, then what does that mean about me and what
Yeah.
I've come to believe and know?
Because then the foundations of the world have thus changed.
Yeah,
And that means the word made flesh can change.
yeah. And we don't want that change. It doesn't feel comfortable. It creates too many questions and not
I
enough
have
answers.
no answers. And think about it, Jesus walking around asking everybody questions that had no answer, because
No
so
answers.
many of the times when Jesus was with folks and having conversations with them, it was often a question.
This could be an amazing essay, The Theology of a Hot Dog.
I'm down to look, we're as co-associate editors, we can do this.
That is such a fascinating thought. Like, one, how many people would potentially even imagine that a question about a hot dog being a sandwich, how could it translate to a full-fledged conversation about Jesus and how we understand Jesus? Um, that's fascinating to me. But most other people would be like, if we were sitting in like a cafe or something and just having this conversation, and people walked in and they heard the first question being, is a hot dog a sandwich? And they walked away and then they came back, they would be like, how in the heck did y'all get to Jesus and the embodiment of Jesus from that question? It would be fascinating.
And also how food communicates cultures, and how there's oftentimes a particular clinging to aspects of
Yeah.
culture because it's what's defined us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And those are definitions that have been placed upon us as
Hmm.
opposed to us getting to co-collaborate what definitions could be.
And that's so I'm looking forward to this experience of co-collaborating what definitions could be.
Yeah, and co-conspiring.
Yeah. Yeah.
A little
Yeah.
mischief.
I mean,
Okay, a lot of mischief.
but what would be life without a little or a lot of mischief? Like, they always told us when we were little, don't do certain things, and we still did them anyway because
How-
we were curious
Yeah,
and we learned a lot about ourselves and what to or not do in the experience
and we learned a lot about the world around us and what the world can do, but also what the world could be.
and what the world cannot handle.
Preach.
Yeah.